Recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this amendment does one simple thing. It continues the Home Affordable Modification Program for members of the Armed Forces and Gold Star recipients. Mr. Speaker, we all know that the Home Affordable Modification Program has not performed to original projections, but this is an effort that has provided 600,000 permanent loan modifications. 600,000 American families are still in their homes because of this effort. I doubt these families would tell you it is not working. Now, Mr. Speaker, some will say that terminating this program...
House is not in order. Gentleman may proceed.
Mr. Speaker, some will say that terminating this program won't affect those who have already received modifications or are working through a modification currently. Yet, many more families still need help, especially military and Gold Star families. Even though the economy is beginning to recover, the housing market is still struggling. HAMP is currently helping 30,000 additional families every month. Mr. Speaker, could I have order, please?
The House shall come to order. Gentleman may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Now, I'd prefer that we keep this effort going for everyone, but if we are not about to, at a minimum, we need to preserve this program for our active military and Gold Star families. Regardless of how anyone feels about the underlying legislation, and regardless of how anybody feels about the funding for the original legislation, we can all agree that we owe our men and women in uniform a tremendous debt of gratitude for their service and sacrifice. Now, while defending our country, service members should not be afraid that their families will lose the roof over their heads. But that's the very situation which a Navy sailor found himself last year as part of Operation Enduring Freedom. 7,000 miles from home, there was little he could do to help his spouse balance the stress of raising 2 children, of her work, and of household expenses. And to top it all off, their mortgage was about to jump to almost $2,300 a month. But this family was able to find relief in the Home Affordable Modification Program. They applied for a trial modification under HAMP and began making reduced payments. And after a few months, their modification became permanent and reduced their monthly payment by about $400. Mr. Speaker, could I have order?
Gentleman is correct. The House is not in order. Gentleman may proceed.
Now, this program helps keep service members and their families in their homes. Some will say that this bill includes a study on the best practices that could be applied to mortgage assistance programs to help members of our military. But, Mr. Speaker, you can't live in a study. A study does not put a roof over your head. A study doesn't provide shelter for your children. A study won't help you pay your bills when your mortgage rate skyrockets. Mr. Speaker, our service members and Gold Star families don't need a stack of paper telling them the ways that we might help. They need actual help. As it currently stands, this bill takes something from our men and women in uniform, a mortgage assistance program, and gives them nothing in return. Now, my district includes 2 Navy bases, each home to thousands of service members and their families. Additionally, the district has the Washington State National Guard and reserves located there. I'm proud to represent these men and women, and I'm honored to work for the work they do each day. They work, their families sacrifice for our country, and while they're protecting our families, the least we can do is to protect their homes. So let's be clear. The passage of this amendment will not prevent the passage of the underlying bill. If the amendment is adopted, it will be incorporated into the bill, and the bill will be immediately voted upon. We need to do all in our power to ensure the men and women who fight and die in our wars are able to keep their homes. It's very simple. So I'm urging my colleagues to vote yes on this final amendment. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I yield back the balance of my time.
Gentleman yields back his time.